first preset I want to look at is Kesselbeat. This is a driving techno rhythm. It's the least complex of any of the presets we're going to look at right now, and it demonstrates the simple use of a single performer, the remote octave, and especially the noise sources, which are great. Let's play through. I just created a simple techno beat to go along with it. You just hear a little bit of automation actually tweaking the filter frequency, the resonance, and a little bit of overdrive to create a little more dynamic and a little more groove to the pattern. So the first thing I want to do is come to the routing, and if we right click on any of these elements, you're literally turning off these modules. So we can start just by hearing what the noise is doing. And obviously there's some sort of rhythm driving it, and that rhythm is coming from performer 1. So you can see it actually assigned here to the amplitude level. It's actually pinging the volume of the first wavetable, as well as the pitch a little bit. It's also pinging the filter frequency modulation. So it's doing a lot to create that rhythm. If we actually just right click here and mute all the connections, then we can see if we can hear anything once we turn up the volume. So we have a simple pink noise blended in with this drone. So you can kind of see the idea of what some of these noise tables are capable of. If we wanted it to be more percussive, maybe a simpler hi-hat, but this drone gives it a nice tonal kind of dissonant characteristic to it. So I'll go ahead and unmute these again so they're working as intended. And we'll take a closer look at the performer. So if we double click here, we're able to kind of zoom in at the level, and you can see 16th notes kind of played at different amplitudes. So you can see what playing around with the levels will do to the dynamics and the groove of the pattern as you mess around. Now, this is playing through part 3, and if we want to look at the remote octave, we can simply touch here on the GUI, and you can see that there's a couple different patterns set up. So if I come to part 1, or part 2, you can see how much variation you can get. Just a little bit of change in the curve, length, taking a break here and there. It can really create a dynamic, interesting pattern. Now, there's a little bit more to this. If we come out of the pattern performer and we start to look at the macros, you have a couple ones here called body and pole. So body's going to bring in this sine wave a bit here. So let's make sure we got everything turned on first. Let's listen as we turn on the filter. Q at the end gives it a real nice kind of boost in the high and low frequencies. And now let's bring in the body. My bad, let's turn on the oscillators first. Okay, here we go. So we basically have two different oscillators, one an octave down, so this is essentially kind of supplying like a sub-bass layer to it, and then this kind of higher up, crazier, nasty kind of digital sound that we can kind of just bring in and out as we like. One cool thing that I love also is that the phase modulation is always wired ready to go at any time. So even if we wanted to kind of blend this in and instantly change the sound, the tonality of these wavetables, we can immediately. without doing much more crazy routing, you just simply turn it on and adjust the levels and you're good to go.